Okay, so I'm going to tell you right away, the focus of today's video about ICP is not really going to be on technical analysis side of stuff. So if you are looking for that kind of content, I would suggest to wait a bit more until tomorrow, because in the next video about ICP, I'm going to specifically see what is going on in terms of technical analysis. In today's video, I'm going to talk about mainly this tweet coming from Dominic Williams, and I'm going to tell you what is my opinion on Caffeine AI. And also we are going to see what is happening in terms of ICP burn tokens and also the supply on exchanges reducing quite heavily. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And about a couple of hours ago, Dominic Williams posted this tweet. When AI builds solo using Motoko on ICP, GC level reference checking is used to prevent errors in upgrade logic causing data loss. Plus, AI makes far fewer coding errors using Motoko versus Rust for now, and orthogonal persistent simplification boosts all languages. Now, this all sounds fantastic. However, I told you before, my stance on Caffeine AI may not be as beautiful as a lot of other people, and I'm going to now tell you what are my major concerns about Caffeine AI and what do I think is actually the real product. So I have a couple of very important concerns. Number one is going to be the limitation of Caffeine AI in complex coding. AI still struggles with highly complex scenarios, such as, for example, handling large data structures or optimizing advanced blockchain algorithms. Dependency on Motoko might quite limit support for other languages like Rust, which many developers preferred actually for performance critical applications. This is, for me at least, the major concern when it comes to Caffeine AI. The second concern is challenges in upgrades and data management. While GC level reference checking helps prevent upgrade errors, that's fair enough, but incompatibilities can still happen in large scale projects. Some older data might get lost or become incompatible during upgrades if developers lack deep knowledge of Motoko's data model. And you just cannot tell me that all of these things are going to happen with AI and developers are not going to participate in that. I just find that extremely hard to believe. Also, another concern that I have about Caffeine AI is performance and optimization limitations. Motoko is not really as optimized as Rust, especially for heavy computational tasks like, for example, handling high transaction volumes or complex storage operations. And again, this is just my opinion. I believe that AI generated code might be kind of suboptimal, leading to higher resource consumption and potential performance slowdowns in smart contracts. Now, another important concern that I have about Caffeine AI is adoption and developer community concerns, because many developers are still kind of accustomed to Rust and Solidity, making it a bit harder for them to transition to Motoko. And I'm really trying to be fair, and let's just say, well, okay, because in the previous video we talked about this important chart and we said developer adoption on the IC as measured by new canister smart contracts grew by 6x year over year. So let's say ICP in this area doesn't really have a big problem. Okay, that's fair enough. But again, this is just my opinion. This should be still kind of an important concern about internet computer. And my final concern, which is quite significant, is security and vulnerability risks. AI generated code may kind of overlook critical security flaws, requiring human review to ensure safety. Again, if you want to argue this is just self-writing internet with absolutely zero supervision, I think in these areas we are going to have many problems. So what's the conclusion in here? Basically, I want to say Caffeine AI plus Motoko plus ICP is definitely a powerful combination, but challenges remain in performance, security, adoption, and data management. Now, if these issues are addressed, okay, fair enough, this approach could become one of the best solutions for automated, secure, and efficient smart contract development in Web3. But my question is this: are we right now absolutely 100% sure that Caffeine AI is going to be the perfect product? What I'm trying to say is this: basically, I need you to manage your expectations. For example, before we saw that famous clip, a lot of people were saying Caffeine AI is going to change the world. However, we all saw what was going on, and my stance on Caffeine AI still hasn't changed. I believe this is definitely a good step towards the right direction for ICP, and it's definitely going to have some positive impacts. However, you cannot tell me that AI is going to code absolutely everything and there will be no problem whatsoever. I think the road to reach that goal is going to be quite bumpy, and I told you before what is my stance on this thing. Let's just go around here. Okay, let's say initially, if you want to build on ICP, you need to hire a developer, and before that they were charging you about, let's say, $500. With the rise of Caffeine AI, if this is going to be a decent product, and again, this is the point, if it's going to be a decent and yet not a perfect product, it is going to be quite helpful for developers. And what's going to happen is probably this: if this developer previously was charging you about $500, now because of Caffeine AI, they are able to design your app in less time, and now they are going to charge you less money, let's say $200. And this, in my opinion, is going to be the main goal of Caffeine AI, just bringing the cost way down, which is, I told you before, a very, very positive thing. And also, for my final point, if you want to argue, for example, in a project we are going to have a positive development, okay, you need to check out the price and see, is that development actually priced in or not? And in ICP, in the last couple of months, if I just go on H4 time frame, as you can see, we had nothing but straight moves on the downside. So I can definitely tell you that Caffeine AI is, for now at least, not priced in yet. So it is going to be a good step towards the right direction, and because of that, we are going to hopefully attract more and more adoption, and in the mid to long term, that will cause potentially and hopefully massive price appreciations. I'm just trying to tell you, look, you should manage your expectations and do not think that we are going to have the perfect product that is going to do it all. I just find that extremely, extremely hard to believe. So I hope I explained my thoughts clearly about Caffeine AI. Now let's go on ICP dashboard and talk about this metric, cycle burning rate. Let's just adjust this thing. There we go. So in the last couple of months in ICP, this metric was rising, which is great, but recently we had a dip in this metric and this caused quite a bit of concerns. However, I'm here to tell you there's probably nothing to be worried about. Why is that? Pay attention to this. About a year ago, the cycle burning rate wasn't actually as high as it is right now. However, if I just go on the live chart, there we go. Where were we about a year ago? Somewhere around the current price. So what's the meaning of this thing? Basically, when cycle burn increases, you can definitely attribute part of that to price appreciation. However, because the price now is actually quite lower than about a year ago, and this metric in here, cycle burn rate is still up, you can definitely argue that this is real adoption. So again, I want to be very clear. This metric going down recently can be considered as a bearish sign, but I'm going to attribute this thing mostly to price going down. And now that we are kind of consolidating in this area and not getting back to these levels down here about a year ago, this to me shows that in ICP, we have definitely made some serious progress, which is a good sign. So I want to be very clear on that one, and hopefully I explained that well. Now, recently, I have seen a lot of people talking about the supply on exchanges decreasing, and sure, this can be a good sign because ultimately it's all about supply and demand, right? Let's go around here. There we go. So let's say we are having supply in here and this is going to be our demand. When the supply is decreasing, assuming that demand is going to stay relatively flat, ultimately in terms of, if we just go around here, price, you are going to see potentially a move on the upside. But here's a very important point. Recently, we had a move down in ICP, and this is as a result of demand reduction. So what I'm trying to say is this: the supply is now lower than before. Fair enough. This can be a good sign. However, so as demand. And sure, when we see some decent moves on the upside in Bitcoin and hopefully a lot of altcoins, and at that point, If the supply is going to remain that low, fair enough, you can definitely bet that demand is going to show up, and then, well, okay, we are probably going to see some major moves on the upside. But for now, I cannot tell you that just because of the supply of ICP on exchanges reducing, we are going to have a move up. I think it is not fair to say that. Is it a good sign? Absolutely. Is it enough? From my point of view, at least, no. And here is my final point. All the things that I talked about in today's video, in my opinion, can be important signs suggesting that the price right now is quite cheap. Meaning, if you believe in the fundamental of this project and you think this is a good token and it does have actually a bright future, then okay, right around the current area is going to be probably accumulation phase for you. And if we see some more downward price action, then that's just going to be more and more buying opportunity. And this is exactly what I'm doing. Previously, my average purchase was somewhere around $8.9. However, because of the recent move down, I actually added some more ICP to my portfolio, and my average purchase right now is about $7.6. And what do you think I will do in case that we get something like this, maybe another move on the downside in order to maybe even take this low? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying we should consider all the probabilities. Then, okay, I'm probably going to also buy some more in this area in order to get my average purchase as low as possible. And why is that? Because I believe in this project, and I think when we get an altcoin season and in ICP, we get a fantastic move up in order to, who knows, maybe a 10 to 20x gain in here. My patience will be rewarded big time. So again, if you believe in this project, I think these are good prices to buy. If you do not like this project, then okay, I would highly suggest do not pay attention to anything that I say, close the video and get your money out as quick as you can. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ICP. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.